I know everyone must have seen the fact that Sultan have stated that clearly that social media is a terrorist organization. It is a terrorist organization to the extent that, you know, it bombs people, you know, it creates animosities, it creates fear and even kills people. You know, to that extent, it is a terrorist organization. Clap for yourself. Ba, 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 ba.
What happened has happened, and it's terrible. You can't come and be through social media, but that's one terrorist organization, social media. Social media is a terrorist organization. What they do, put somebody in his comfort room and formulate stories, and you will swear that it's true. So, social media is a terrorist organization that we must deal with. Security agencies must deal with this terrorist organization called social media.
So I really didn't want to go too far with this particular content, but let me just state this clearly. Social media being a terrorist organization, can somebody point me to any direction where the Sultan in the last 2 years under this administration, can somebody point me to any direction where the Sultan condemns killings in the north, where he presides over? Sultan of Sokoto, okay, let's even say in Sokoto, or maybe in Katsina, or maybe in Kano, or maybe in Gombe or Borno. Can somebody just point me in the direction where Sultan has condemned the killings and asked and calls for a concerted effort to tackle the menace? Can somebody even call my attention to anywhere that the Sultan have clearly stated that, look, all of these Fulanis allegedly who are parading themselves as headsmen and killing people in communities must be apprehended? Can the Sultan point me in that direction? Does the Sultan know the number of people who have been employed by social media? Does the Sultan know the numbers? I mean, do you know if you drink, there's a level you drink water that is important to the body. There's a level you drink water. Everybody's supposed to be drinking 3 to 4 liters a day. But there's a level you drink water, it becomes a problem to you. So virtually everything has a disadvantage. There's a level you eat food that is important to the body for growth, for vitamins and all whatnot. There's a level you eat food and it becomes a problem to you. There's a level you would jog, normal exercise, and it becomes a problem to you. Does Sultan know that? And I mean, sometimes I just feel that these are issues that, you know, come up, and the only way to steal the headlines, to poke people in the South, is to just say one outlandish thing just to grab the headlines. All right, but me, I don't want to go too far. Like I mentioned, I don't want to talk too much on this matter because it's just fallacy. So I asked ChatGPT a simple question, because again, I like to be explicit. Sometimes again, let's use social media to answer whether social media is a terrorist organization. So here is my question to ChatGPT. Is social media a terrorist organization as stated by Sultan of Sokoto of Nigeria? Tell me why you think he may think so. Tell me the possible disadvantage of social media. And ChatGPT goes first. No, social media is not a terrorist organization in any legal or formal sense. But when the Sultan of Sokoto reportedly said something along those lines, it was likely a provocative metaphor. Well, the Sultan is educated. I'm sure he should know what provocative metaphor means. It means to highlight the harmful ways social media can be misused, especially in Nigeria. And so why might the Sultan say this? It says spread of fake news and incitement. Social media can quickly spread false or inflammatory stories, especially around religion, ethnicity, or politics. Violence. This has led to lynching, violence, or unrest, particularly in northern Nigeria. Number 2, amplification of hate speech. Platforms like Facebook or X sometimes allow these divisive voices to go unchecked, escalating tension between communities. Number 3, manipulation and radicalization. Extremist groups sometimes use social media to recruit, spread propaganda, or promote ideologies. Number 5, lack of regulation. To traditional and religious leaders, the unfiltered, anonymous nature of social media might feel chaotic or dangerous, hence the comparison to a terrorist organization. So disadvantage of social media: misinformation and fake news, cyberbullying and harassment, mental health issues, addiction, anxiety, depression, privacy concerns, scams and financial fraud, echo chambers where people only hear opinions they already agree with, threats to national security if used to plan unrest or share divisive info. That said, social media also has huge advantages, especially for journalism, activism, business, and youth engagement. It's more about how it's used than the platform itself. Dear Sultan, social media is not a terrorist organization. Call your northern brothers, call your northern brothers, call your southern brothers, call your southern governors, and call your followers to engage meaningfully on social media, not tagging social media a terrorist organization. I'm sure he didn't even write that. I mean, if you watch what he was doing, he didn't write it. He didn't write it as a speech that social media is a terrorist organization. So let's listen to him. Let's watch him and check whether he was reading it, because if he really wrote that thing in this day and age of AI helping you to write speeches, then we would have some problems. Because again, how do you sit down and create something and write social media? Social media is a terrorist organization. What is social media? Who is social media?
What happened has happened, and it's there written. You can't come and be through social media, but that's one terrorist organization, social media. Social media is a terrorist organization. What they do, they put somebody in his comfort room and formulate stories, and you will swear that is true. So, social media is a terrorist organization that we must deal with. Security agencies must deal with this terrorist organization called social media. So we're not happy with what's been happening either on the plateau or other places.
I mean, when you look at the numbers, if you talk about the top 4 terrorist organization in the world, check it out. So if you talk about top 4 terrorist organizations in the world, do you know that we have one operating in Nigeria? In fact, the origin of one is in Nigeria. We're in the top 4. Top 4. Number 1, of course, you know, is Islamic State, ISIL. Their base is Iraq and Syria. The number 2 is Al Qaeda, and the 3rd is Boko Haram. When was the last time you heard Sultan speak about dismantling Boko Haram, making sure Boko Haram is dismembered, is they're in disarray? When was the last time you heard him speak about that? When was the last time, I mean, recently we had Borno State Governor saying that 3 local government areas are in the hands of Boko Haram. 3 local government areas are in the hands of Boko Haram. Sultan never said a word about it. But it's social media where people these days go to learn, where people go these days to get enlightened, where people go these days in order to get a job. There are people, do you know today, there are people who are called social media managers and they are earning in dollars. They are just social media managers, they are earning in dollars. Do you know there are people who work for only YouTube, like they create content and put on YouTube and get paid? That is the one that Sultan is looking at as terrorist organization. Yes. Do people use it for bad things? Yes, just like you overdrink water. Do people use it to defraud? Yes. Just like you want to tempt God and go and stand in go and say, I pray to God today for safety, and you go and stand in the middle of the express that nothing will do you. You go and stand in front because you claim that you have prayed, tempting God, checking if God is even real. There is nothing in life that is good. Do you know too much of sex is also bad? Upon how sex is so sweet, so endearing, so wonderful, so you know sex now. I mean, we all know these things, but there'll be time that you will be running away from. You will see sex and be running away. You will see it and saying, "But I can't do much more than my power." So everything that has good has bad. Let's be clear. Religion today that we're practicing in Nigeria, both Islamic religion, traditional religion, and Christianity, traditional religion and Christianity religion, and every other religion has its own side effect. When people get into that space, they are now pastors. There is now Islam. They are now Islamic clerics, and they defraud people their monies using the name of God. So what is in this world that doesn't have? Tell me one thing that has one advantage that doesn't have disadvantage. Tell me one thing. Can anybody tell me anything? Can the Sultan tell me anything that has advantage that doesn't have disadvantage? You know, when leaders just want to poke, you know, just want to grab the headlines and speak, you know, just speak, just let it be like the Sultan has spoken. That's what you get. Social media is a terrorist organization. Oh, more. So since social media is a terrorist organization, so I have engaged terrorist organization to be watching the Sultan because, frankly speaking, I personally don't. I don't think I've. The last time I don't think I. When was that time I even watched TV? When was that time I even watched TV? Sat down to watch TV, but I'm almost always on my phone. I shoot my content on my phone. I do my editing largely on my phone. So how will this man tell me that social media is a terrorist organization, and then now as oh, it's true, social media is a terrorist organization? It is or it is. So because a few persons are using it to defraud people, a few persons are using it to amplify, you know, menace, which of course most of his brothers, most of his governors some time ago have used social media to poke ethnicity, to push in a wrong narrative. But he doesn't call them out for that. But of course, social media is the go-to, is a soft spot to go to. Then the next thing, probably they'll be thinking of banning it, so that the youths who are gainfully employed, the government who has refused to provide jobs for them, who have decided to take their destiny into their hands, will be out of jobs because someone somewhere said that social media is a terrorist organization. I don't know what I'm talking about. I mean, sometimes you see, I said I was going to just say this thing, just straight to the point. I just wanted to go straight to what ChatGPT said and reply him. I won't have to waste my saliva because I'm getting really angry about this. Guys, I beg, take care of yourself. I'll see you guys later.